known as John the Divine, the beloved disciple, and one of the pillar apostles. Is the author of the fourth gospel. He's also the author of 3 letters, and of course the last book in the New Testament, the book of Revelation. John's gospel differs considerably from the synoptic gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. John's gospel contains a prologue, for example. It also contains a book of signs and a book of glory, and offers a different account on the course of Christ's ministry. John's gospel is in many ways more complex and more spiritual, with long discourses on Jesus. These discourses deal with Christ's identity and tend to obscure his human personality, showing a strong Gnostic influence. For example, the light, the importance of light, and the importance of eternal life. John's letters showcase a similar theological vocabulary and form a composite unit with common characteristics of style, language, and thought. John's faith was strong enough to believe in the resurrection, even after arriving at Christ's tomb and finding it empty. Tradition says that John took the Virgin Mary to Ephesus after the crucifixion and was also plunged into a cauldron of boiling oil during the persecutions of Emperor Domitian. These persecutions happened between 93 and 96 AD. But John was delivered from the boiling oil miraculously unharmed. Afterwards, the Apostle John who was described in the Bible as the one that Jesus loved. He was banished, exiled to the Isle of Patmos, where John writes the book of Revelation. Revelation, as I mentioned, is the final book in the New Testament, and the only apocalypse found in the New Testament. The text is, in essence, a series of intense visions that was either written during the persecutions of Emperor Nero, 64 to 66 AD, or Emperor Domitian, who ruled from the persecutions are 93 to 96 AD. Biblical scholars are in debate over the authorship of the book of Revelation. A 3rd century text, the Acts of John, is a very notable text for its lovely hymn of Jesus, as well as the colorful stories of John's later life in old age. John was, in fact, the only apostle to escape martyrdom, and he apparently lived to a very ripe old age, dying of natural causes. Now, in art, St. John the Divine is portrayed bearing a chalice from which a serpent issues, an allusion to the legend of his driving the poison from a cup that was presented to John to drink. He gets rid of the poison and then takes a sip. The apostle and saint is the patron of theologists, and John's feast day is December 27th. All right, let's move on to Jude, who is also known as Thaddeus or Libanius, and also known as Jude the Obscure.